Wait, let me tell you something most people won't understand. I don't apologize anymore. Not because of pride, but because I'm tired. Tired of explaining myself. Tired of being misunderstood. Tired of making everyone else comfortable while slowly disappearing from my own life. One morning, I looked in the mirror and said, "Enough. I have the right to be silent." By the end of this video, I'll share 29 truths with you. 29 truths that might change your entire life, or simply remind you of something you already know. But before that, ask yourself one question. When was the last time you allowed yourself to just exist, without defending who you are? If that question stirs something inside you, keep watching. However, truth number one, silence is not a right, it's a luxury, and we've forgotten we deserve it. Silence isn't free, it has a price. Being misunderstood, excluded, even blamed. But those who can pay that price become free. Last week, I had coffee with an old friend. He kept talking, I just listened. Then he stopped and asked, "Why aren't you saying anything?" "There's nothing to add," I said. He looked confused. "You used to always have an opinion." "Yes," I smiled, "and now I don't." Some answers don't belong in words. Sometimes your silence is your loudest truth. He looked uncomfortable, as if my calm was an act of rebellion. But it wasn't rebellion, it was reclamation. I wasn't refusing to explain myself, I was choosing not to lose myself. Truth number two, people fear your silence. Because when you go quiet, they are left alone with their own noise. And most people are terrified of hearing themselves. Maybe those who dislike your silence are simply hearing their own echoes through you. That day, I went home, looked out the window, same city, same chaos, but I was different. Because for the first time, I couldn't stop the world's noise, but I finally quieted my own. Silence isn't an escape, it's a return. It begins not when you have nothing left to say, but when you no longer need to say anything. When the weight of words tires you, try silence. Don't be afraid, it doesn't punish you, it brings you back. Truth number three, silence is a mirror. It reflects everything. If someone has peace inside, they'll feel peace in your quiet. If they have fear, your silence will amplify it. Have you ever gone silent and seen someone squirm? They look away, change the topic, laugh nervously. That's when you realize silence has power. For years I talked, explained, defended. I filled every pause as if quiet meant guilt. Until I realized, some people don't talk to understand you, they talk so they don't have to hear themselves. Once my boss yelled at me in a meeting. Old me would have argued. This time I just looked at him. The silence stretched, long, uncomfortable. Finally, he sighed and said, "All right, let's move on." Sometimes silence ends an argument better than victory ever could. Truth number four, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your silence. Because silence explains itself. People often ask, "Why are you so quiet?" I tell them, "I'm listening." To what? To everything. You, me, life. Eventually, I noticed, people take your silence personally. They think you're mad, distant, detached. But they don't realize your silence isn't against people, it's against noise. Truth number five, silence is something we remember. Some nights I sit alone doing nothing. Phone off, lights low, the city hums outside, but inside me, there's a still lake. And in that stillness, I remember something ancient. Silence isn't something we fear. It's something we forgot. We were born in silence. We came from it. It's home. Learning to love silence is the first sign you're finally returning to yourself. Truth number six, not defending yourself is the highest defense. I used to rush to explain everything, every misunderstanding, every rumor. I thought explaining would protect me. Now I know, defending yourself only means you've accepted the accusation. How many times did you lose peace just to prove a point? And how many times did you stay silent and realize peace didn't need proof? Once, someone criticized me in a meeting. I said nothing. When they finished, the room went quiet, heavy, honest, bare. Then someone whispered, "Maybe you were right." But the truth? I no longer needed to be right, because being right isn't as fulfilling as being free. Truth number 7. When you stop defending yourself, there's nothing left to attack. And that's liberation. A new kind of silence appears, not tiredness, but peace. You no longer need everyone to understand you. You no longer chase approval. You become your own witness. When someone asks, "Why aren't you saying anything?" I answer, "Because I don't have to." Don't you fear being misunderstood? No, I say, I've made peace with being misunderstood. When you stop explaining yourself, the right people will finally start hearing you. If this resonates, tap the like button. Let this message find the ones who need it. Truth number 8. Vulnerability is the purest form of strength. A friend once told me, "You should share more." But I noticed, every time I shared too much, I felt smaller. Some things lose their power when spoken. Some silences can't fit into words. Being vulnerable doesn't mean being weak. It means you've stopped letting other people's opinions decide who you are. Next time someone misunderstands you, don't explain, just be silent. And watch, who can sit with your silence and who can't. That moment will reveal everything. Truth number 9. Saying no is how you finally say yes to yourself. I used to be a yes person. Yes to favors, yes to plans, yes to expectations. I thought saying no meant rejection, that setting boundaries meant losing love. But I learned, when you say yes to everyone, you end up saying no to yourself. How many times did you smile and say, "Sure," while something inside whispered, "Please, no"? One morning, drinking coffee, a thought crossed my mind. You can do anything, but you don't have to do everything. So I started practicing energy economics. Peace is your currency. Spend it wisely. Truth number 10. 90% of what you engage with doesn't deserve your peace. But no one taught us the difference between kindness and self-sacrifice. My mother once asked, "Why don't you call me more often?" I said, "I call when I have something to say." She paused, then whispered, "You're right. I'm tired of talking just to fill the air." For the first time, we both relaxed. Sometimes the best way to love someone is to rest together in silence. Truth number 11. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it's self-awareness. I don't go to every invitation anymore. I don't answer every message right away. Sometimes I just sit and breathe. People ask, "Are you doing nothing?" Yes, I say, I'm doing nothing. And it feels so full. Maybe real productivity is not burning out while you shine, because those who burn out can't light anyone else. Truth number 12. Silence is contagious. I was in a meeting once, everyone talking, voices colliding. I just sat quietly. After a minute, 2, the room slowed down. The chaos melted. A strange calm filled the space. Silence isn't a void, it's a reset. When noise drops, meaning rises. My boss asked, "What are you thinking?" I said, "Nothing, and it's beautiful." Sometimes one quiet soul can steady a room full of storms. Truth number 13. Silence is a frequency, not an action. When you tune to that frequency, everything around you reharmonizes. A child cries, I don't yell anymore. I wait. Soon the cry softens. Someone shouts in anger, I don't react. Soon their voice drops. Silence absorbs noise like the ocean absorbs rain. Perhaps what the world needs isn't more words, but deeper silence. Truth number 14. Listening is not the same as hearing. Most people don't listen, they wait to reply. Every conversation is a quiet war for who gets to be right. When was the last time you listened without planning your answer? A friend once came to me, tired, angry, hurt. I used to fix people with words. This time I just listened. Minutes passed, then a beautiful silence. Her eyes filled. She whispered, "Thank you." "For what?" I asked. "For hearing me without trying to heal me." Most people don't need answers. They just need an echo that feels like home. Truth number 15. Listening means becoming someone else's echo. Like mountains that return a shout as gentle thunder, they don't repeat it, they hold it. Maybe the greatest gift you can offer is space. After that day, my conversations grew shorter but deeper. Someone once said, "You barely talk." I smiled. Maybe it's time someone finally listened. Perhaps the world will heal the moment one person truly listens. Truth number 16. Leaving drama is how you keep your power. A man once yelled at me in traffic. I said, "I'm sorry." He froze, then left. That's when I learned, drama needs two actors. If you walk off stage, the play ends. Every conflict feeds on your attention. Withdraw it and watch peace return. Truth number 17. Being right is overrated. Being peaceful is priceless. At the market, an old woman cut the line. The old me would have snapped. The new me noticed her shaking hands and said nothing. 5 minutes lost, 5 years of anger saved. When you stop fighting to be right, you win something better, your soul back. Truth number 18. Real connections can survive silence. 6 months into my quiet, some people left. "You've changed," they said. "We can't talk to you anymore." I just smiled. Some relationships breathe only through noise. When the noise stops, so does the illusion. If you can sit in silence with someone and still feel close, that's real. Since then, I have fewer friends, but more peace. Truth number 19. Constant availability is modern slavery. One morning, I looked at my phone and felt nothing. No messages, no notifications, and for once, no need. I realized I exist even when no one reaches me. At work, they said, "You're hard to reach." I smiled. Do I have to be reachable? Silence, because no one had ever asked that before. Being reachable 24/7 means you're never fully here. A divided mind can never go deep. Truth number 20. Being unreachable is how you finally reach yourself. My phone is on silent now, but my soul is awake. When you lower the world's volume, you can hear your own frequency. People will say, "You've changed." Yes, I found my signal. At night, I turn off the lights and the phone. Time expands, thoughts clear, and in that darkness, I finally hear myself breathe. Truth number 21. The real voice only appears in silence. I started writing in the quiet, not to share, not to post, just to listen. 3 pages every morning, whatever came. No filters, no structure. After 3 weeks, a voice whispered inside, "Finally, you're listening." Your soul has been speaking for years. You just had the volume too high. Truth number 22. Doing nothing is sometimes the most powerful act. 5:12 a.m. The world is asleep. I pour coffee slowly so it won't wake anyone. Then I notice there's no noise to wake. It's just me and existence itself. When you do nothing, everything renews itself. Start your day in silence, or you'll end it in chaos. Truth number 23. Silence is the homeland of the soul. I sat on a park bench next to an old man. We said nothing, just watched the wind change direction. An hour passed. He stood up and smiled. The next day he came back. Again we didn't speak. Weeks later he whispered, "Thank you." "For what?" I asked. "For not needing me to talk." Some people heal the moment they find someone who lets them be quiet. Truth number 24. Silent people form an invisible tribe. A tribe without words, but deeply connected. In this tribe, no one asks, "How are you?" They already feel it. No one rushes to comfort pain. They trust its language. Sometimes a stranger understands you instantly, not because they know you, but because they too have stayed silent. Truth number 25. At first, silence feels like madness. Everyone confuses silence with peace. But silence is a storm before it becomes a sky. When I first went quiet, I expected calm. Instead, every buried voice inside me rose to speak. Fear, shame, old arguments. For months, it felt like hell. Then one morning the waves settled, and I saw the bottom, my own depth. Silence doesn't drive you crazy. It drives you home. Truth number 26. Silence is the soul's detox. When you go quiet, the past starts to speak. Every pain you avoided returns for cleansing. It hurts at first, but so does healing. Maybe what we call anxiety is just the soul finally trying to be heard. Truth number 27. Wealth is not what you collect, it's what you notice. One morning I realized I wanted nothing. Not more money, not more attention, not more success. And for the first time, I felt complete. Abundance doesn't come from adding, it comes from subtracting the noise. A friend asked, "Investing in anything lately?" "Yes," I said, "in something invisible." "What do you mean?" "I invest my attention, in this moment, in my breath, in silence." The riches of a quiet mind can't be measured. Truth number 28. Finding yourself begins with not going anywhere. I searched for myself for years, in places, people, ideas. But every journey ended in a mirror. The seeker and the sought were always the same. You've never been lost. You just couldn't hear your own signal through the static. Truth number 29. Silent presence is the strongest magnet on earth. To change the world, you don't need to shout. You just need to vibrate differently. Silence doesn't speak, it resonates. Even in these last words, silence is what really speaks. It seeps between the sentences, touching you quietly and whispering, "You will be understood even when you say nothing." Stop now. Listen to the air around you, to your breath, to your heart. That soundless space, that's where we meet. You, me, all of us, the silent tribe. Welcome home.